Good morning, mamas. Today is Wednesday, which means we are working on some corrective stuff this morning. I am downstairs in my home gym, home studio here, but the kids are upstairs, so should they happen to come down, hopefully they won't, but if they do, I apologize for that in advance, but it's not like you're not going to be going through this training with the exact same thing happening to you. So I won't sweat it too much, but I want to today actually go through how to incorporate the pelvic tilt that I've been talking about for the past couple of days into your foundational training. So I can't see who's on here. Hi, Melissa. Good morning. So you've gone through the foundational training, all of you already, belly training, right? Which always starts you on the ground and slowly moves you up. Now, I mentioned the other day when I was talking about it in the video, how you can begin to incorporate your pelvic tilt into everything that you do. So either your daily walking, you can do it in stretching, you can do it while you're standing at any point, but I want you to really start to consider doing it as a warm-up to your day. So first thing in the morning, if you have an opportunity, and you're already working on things like maybe meditative breathing and stuff like that. Hi, good morning, Amy. Then this would be a really great opportunity to begin to bring in the pelvic tilt as well. So I'm hoping that I can do this all this morning without having to move the camera, but I might have to do that. So what you're going to do, just like you do when you start with the foundational, good morning, the foundational training, so the belly training that we did, we're going to start on our back, and I'm going to give you a few hints as we go through this. Some of the ideas that I will tell people when I work one-on-one, so you have a greater understanding of why some of these things work the way that they do. So I always start everybody on the ground for a reason, right? I've mentioned before that when we are belly breathing, it taps into your parasympathetic nervous system, so your rest, digest, relax, right? When we're standing up, we have a tendency to be breathing from our chest. The second you lie down, naturally, you'll notice that the breath goes into your belly, right? So this is generally a spot, and there's a reason for that. You lie down, it's a cue to the body to rest, to relax. So naturally, you fall into that breathing pattern. Excuse me. So we're going to start from here, because this is where you typically can belly breathe, right? It's not as hard. Sometimes once we bring in some movement and stuff like that, the movement will start, or the breath will start to creep up into the chest. But you've already gone through all of that in terms of breathing, okay? So you have an understanding of how your body is working in terms of the breathing. Today I want to go through where you can begin to incorporate the pelvic tilt, okay? So generally when we start that training, we start here, we start to the belly breath moving from here, and we start alternating the legs, okay? So before you even begin to alternate the legs, find your routine, find your belly breath, and what we're going to do is begin that pelvic tilt from there. Okay, so right off the bat, you wake up in the morning, you have 2 seconds before your kids are going to jump on you. This is what I want you to be doing. Focusing on your belly breath, start the pelvic tilt. Why? Because it sends a message to the brain to start your day off from the right place, all right? So we begin the pelvic tilt right from here, and do it on a breath. So anytime you're moving throughout this foundational training, it always has to be on a breath, all right? So you don't want to be holding your breath and then moving to the side, or holding your breath and picking up a leg. The idea is that the breath is in this continuous cycle through the belly as you're doing everything, all right? So breathing in, we're going to begin with the pelvic tilt now. I want you to be able to move through about 10 breaths of this cycle, okay? You can begin to incorporate the alternating leg lift after that. Your next move, so turning on a breath, is going to come up into the side plank. Now, the side plank is fantastic to be working through during your belly breathing and the belly breath training for a reason. So lots of people will say, well, I can't actually breathe into my belly if I need to use my core. If my core is activated, how do I breathe into it? Well, when you come up into your side plank in your belly breathing, this whole side is going to be completely activated in order to hold you up, right? So you can feel that's really, really tough. When you're belly breathing, this side will naturally start to raise, and this, you'll notice that this one stays tucked in and this one raises, meaning that you are going to find this space to be able to belly breathe no matter what. And it's a really great experience for you to be able to have, so that you know that it doesn't matter if your core is activated, you still will be able to belly breathe, okay? Here's where you want to incorporate the pelvic tuck though. So we're going to come up, and on your breath, so breathe in, you're going to breathe out, and you're going to pelvic tuck, okay? You need to get your body used to this tuck in every kind of position because this is your alignment. Being out like this is not in alignment. So we're going to bring in that pelvic tuck through the side plank as well. So as you're going through that initial foundational training, and I'm going to post the links to that underneath here when I'm done, please remember that you want to start to add this pelvic tuck, okay? Because it's not listed in your initial training, okay? We come up from there, and we're going to start in the like a half kneel position, and again, belly breathe first, pelvic tuck second. So you're not going to notice a ton of movement necessarily here, but begin to get your pelvic tuck on the breath. So you're going to breathe in, you're going to breathe out and get that pelvic tuck. It's really going to open up the hip here. It's also going to tell you if your butt is activating properly. If you don't feel anything as you're doing these things, you know that your butt is still not activating. So go back to your breath. Make sure that you're breathing from here, because once you breathe from here, you're going to be able to let go of everything else and turn this on, okay? This is on, this is off, this is off, this is on, okay? So one side of the body only is always working. So bring in that pelvic tuck here. You can start to incorporate slight movement back and forth, okay? Just allowing your brain to take on a couple of more messages as you go. This is the point of this, right? You don't want to just go right up to standing anytime you're practicing breath or practicing a new movement, because it's just too many messages your brain's trying to deal with. So get it one at a time. Once you've mastered the pelvic tuck here, you can bring in breathing and a slight movement back and forth, okay? From there, that is when you're going to be able to stand up. So of course, do this on both sides. Don't just do it on one. From here, we'll come into just a regular stand. You're going to find your breath first and foremost, and then you're going to begin to pelvic tuck, okay? So find the tuck. I like to do on the exhale because it's naturally where your body moves. If for some reason that doesn't work for you, which is fine, don't do it. Do it whenever it feels right for you, okay? It's not about me trying to tell you more stuff to do, give you more messages to work on. It's about you listening to your body and figuring out exactly what works for you, okay? And then it starts to move into your different exercises. So I encourage you to pick one that you need, maybe you need the most help with, or the one that really works for you. So when you're belly breathing, okay, and you come into your squat and you really feel your glutes fire, and you know that that's the first time that you felt your glutes fire, you should be working on that. So go ahead, set a timer, set it for 3 minutes, go internally, begin to breathe, and start to do a squat-like movement, right? The movement's always secondary. You are just breathing, focusing on breath only, okay? Because I don't want you to be going, okay, I'm going to breathe, and I'm going to come into my squat, I'm going to squeeze my bum and come up. That's not the point of this. We're trying to correct you internally. And if you are just focusing on your breath, you do that belly breath for however works for you, my glutes will naturally turn on. You want it to naturally activate and not have to go in and start to squeeze your glutes, all right? That is not you correcting. That is you just going, oh, I'm going to squeeze my glutes here. That's not them firing the way that they're supposed to, okay? So pick a movement that works for you. Begin to do, again, set a timer for 3 minutes. Begin to go into kind of a meditative breathing state. Sort of start to squat, get lower, get lower, get lower. And then we're going to incorporate a pelvic tuck, okay? Because again, if you're coming into your squat like this, you're not allowing yourself that nice, smooth flow of breath, of stabilization. You're automatically, because we have a tendency to literally push it out, right? Some of us, if you have this issue, I know I do, I'll catch myself pushing it out in weird situations, and then I have to be able to bring it back in. Sorry, my battery's about to die here. Okay, I was just reading Amy's message there. So let's, as you're breathing, do your breath, pelvic tuck, and come down. Okay, so really start to incorporate that pelvic tuck into these movements. And it doesn't necessarily have to be when you're just going to go and do your full-fledged workout, okay? But give yourself the time to practice both your breath, your correction, and that pelvic tilt on a separate occasion. So again, whether that's, you're waiting for something to cook or whatever it is, these little moments that we have throughout the day where you can take a second and just begin to do it, okay? Even if you're going pee, and I'm not even kidding, I love bathroom breaks for this reason. When you're sitting there, instead of just sitting down on the toilet, do your pelvic tuck, come in and go for a pee. Even in that scenario, where you can constantly begin to reinforce proper movement patterns, okay? So you can do that with any of those primal movements that we do within the foundational training. So that's the squat, the lunge, the bend. You can do it on a twist. You can do it on a push-up. Anything that helps you to begin to correct that pelvic tilt and gain that strength not only through the core and through the proper breathing pattern, but it's also going to start to include pelvic floor, okay? And we haven't gotten there yet, but this is a really great first start, and it also is going to help a lot of you relieve a lot of pain, okay? So anybody who has low back pain, knee pain, neck and shoulder pain, it's going to start to correct your body, put you into alignment again, also create a happy flow of energy, which gets stunted when we are in poor posture, okay? Because I have mentioned this before, but when you are in poor posture, it is a signal to your body that you are stressed. Okay, and we know the effects of stress. I'm not going to tell you those all over again today. But if you want fat loss and you are in poor posture, so you hang out like this all the time, or you have a crazy pelvic tilt, or anything is out of alignment in any way, your body is just going to keep producing stress hormones. Okay, so these things are really crucial for multiple reasons. A, you're going to feel better. The energy is going to flow easier. B, you're going to drop the pain. C, you will be able to burn fat again once this stuff is corrected properly. Okay, so enjoy this today. Please do take your time and get your foundations right. Okay, there is no sense going in and squatting your life away and just having knee pain or low back pain or, any of the stuff that comes up that's not actually the point of the exercise, okay? And practice. When you go to pick up your kids, make sure you're belly breathing. When you're walking up the stairs, give yourself these mental cues where you go, when I walk up the stairs, I think about my breath. I want to feel my glutes. I want to feel them working. Give yourself these mental cues. When I go to the washroom, I'm going to practice this. When I walk upstairs, I'm going to practice this. When I pick up my kids, I'm going to practice this. It's kind of like this little alarm that you can set within yourself so that you constantly remember that you want to be correcting, lifting properly, squatting properly, moving properly all throughout your day. So I hope that was helpful for today. Please post any comments below about your experience of exercising without exercising. Okay, I really want to hear them today. Sending Kim something in the mail very soon. So congratulations for winning yesterday, Kim. I can't wait to see what everybody's going to do for the rest of the month. Enjoy. Remember that you got this.